seconds, that's it. 5, 4.
Hello!
It's Thursday!
Oh,
Awesome. I'm so pleased we're here on Thursday.
as am I.
Look at my little heart.
Roscoe, can you grab me a bottle opener while you're there?
Yeah.
I'll get one person.
Watch live video.
Ross,
It says here the live video has not started.
there's a lag. Give it 2 seconds. Anyway, too easy. Yum, yum, yum. So we're a little bit out of sorts today. We're not used to doing Christmas trade. Despite the fact that we do it every
Maybe done
year.
a little bit of business trade, but yes, we've done some. Good.
Easy peasy.
So,
So,
what are we doing today, Luke?
coastal gin.
Yeah, she has
Now-
coastal weather.
There was
Live now?
some point of contention.
No, it's not live. It's live. It's not started. Can't watch the video.
Ross, calm down. It's been calm down. I'll double check the live, shall we?
Let's
Yeah.
do that.
Ah, 3 people viewing, 4 people viewing. Eva Schroeter, hello.
Hello.
Liz says hello.
Cool. Hi.
Yeah, got a couple people on. Brilliant.
Okay, don't worry about it. It's obviously working.
Yes, so there was some point of contention as to why we haven't called it maritime gin. And the reason is because these are not actually traditional maritime gins.
Please explain.
So, maritime gins, while we're talking about salty, beachy gins,
Mm-hmm.
maritime gins are usually actually not salty gins at all. They're usually really crisp, dry,
Yeah, I'm trying to.
and citrus forward gins. Like you think of things like linden lime and things like the Vats and Flinders Maritime Gin. They focus on citrus and sometimes like little bits of kelp sometimes, but not often what we're looking at today. So
So are
a
they
little
things
bit
that are nice to drink at sea rather than things that are
Yeah.
nice to drink on the beach?
yeah. So
Okay.
they're things that traditionally go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Alright.
but
We're not at sea, we're on the beach.
these gins are actually all take certain botanicals from the beach. So rather than just being beach inspired, these are actually like beach flavoured.
Some of these have got bits of beach
In
in them,
That's
which
the
is
point.
way cool.
Anyway,
The first one is
the beach box.
which is just the cutest bottle of gin. We discovered this down at Phaedrus on the Mornington Peninsula. And one of the things that we really like about this gin is, apart from the fact that it tastes beautiful, is that, and it's a very cute bottle, and it's a really reasonable price, is that they distill it using driftwood. So they put a chunk of driftwood
in the still.
in the still. How cool is that?
And what's also really interesting is a lot of Australian gin, there's been a huge conversation about the base spirit that goes in. And one of the main things that is really great about that is that Australia, the part of the reason we have such great gin is because a lot of it uses a lot of grape spirit.
Because we make great.
And the reason we fell in love with this gin from Phaedrus is because it's a wine estate, they use the grape spirit from their grapes. So it actually has this really brilliant sort of example of wine from their
Like a
estate.
terroir.
And it's almost a terroir.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
funky.
which is really, yeah. So I thought that was quite nice.
But, no, you missed out the most salient point. It's fabulous with oysters.
I haven't got there yet.
I've gone straight there. It's fabulous with oysters. Go
Alright.
get some right now.
Anyway, tasting notes.
Eva, where's your dad's oysters? Can I have some?
We had oysters last night at the Blue Oyster Bar in St Kilda. That's an editorial.
Sorry.
He wants you to be over there.
Oh,
No, come on.
Sorry. So that's what I really like about a little bit of the driftwood comes in on the nose. It gives it that sort of,
I don't know that I know what driftwood smells like, to be honest.
it's that salty, a little bit woody, smells of beachy without smelling.
Yeah, it does smell like that. I agree with that.
there's not only driftwood in there, there's all sorts of other
It
things.
smells
as
a
well.
bit like, you know, when all of a sudden, when you're at the beach and you get that evening breeze and it's all of a sudden, as we just had today, a complete change of temperature and it stops you being boiling hot. That's what it smells like.
Petrichor.
No, it's not. It's wood treacle.
Okay.
When I say petrichor, I mean what you're talking about is the change of humidity, which means
No,
rain in the air.
but petrichor is the water on the stone.
Not necessarily, but
I think you'll find it
Yeah,
is
I think that's
necessary.
what it means. Anyway,
What do we,
There's something else in there. Nearly a fruit flavour.
There's gin in there. I get a bit of touch of almost Pinot Noir.
Maybe that's what it is. I think I got a bit of a fruit flavour. Can I taste it now?
That's what it is.
Woohoo!
It's really, really bright on the front palate.
It's great. And it's got a really good winey back palate. It's got a... I don't think wine is the right word. You know what I mean? It doesn't taste like gin on the back palate.
Oh.
It's been a long year, 2 years.
Can I have a piece of ice, please, Luke?
Yes.
Sure.
I will be the dispenser. You want to?
No, this one. Oh, I've got two.
Sure. I'm going to put two in there too.
A little bit of ice brings out the sweetness on the front palate, which is nice. And these guys
There's a
distill
good
it.
bit of herbaceousness in the middle palate too.
Yeah. This is straight 40%, but it tastes pretty sharp in a nice way.
Mm.
I'm going to put a dash of tonic in this. Just to,
I do get a bit of that citrus. I think that's what I got before when I said I had it with fruit. So you're going with dry. Why are you going with dry?
because I think it's dry gin. And sometimes I like contrasting, but I think
I'm going to go with
dry on dry today I think might be a good
I'm
idea.
going to go with orange in this one. So,
Which is the
oh
orange?
no, we haven't got orange. We've got pink grapefruit,
Mm,
lemon, or lime.
I'm going pink grapefruit.
I think I do.
I'm going lemon. Oh. Lemon.
So you'll see we bought a new dehydrator. Ah, this is a hydrator. We bought a dehydrator and we have been putting it to great use.
Mm.
Stand by for strawberries.
But yeah, I was looking at a lot of the different really like salted, beachy sort of gins, and a lot of them were recommending grapefruit, which is great because there was some really good pink grapefruit in season. So hence why that's in the pack.
That is just delicious.
Oh, the pink grapefruit's good.
Yeah, I like the pink grapefruit with that. How is it with the, you're going with the Indian?
Yeah, and the lemon.
A bit more of a traditional approach from Mr. Smith.
That's it.
Mm.
That is just yum.
That works too.
Anyway, we have tried this, just dripped onto oysters, and it is pretty much the bomb. Not the full mix,
Yeah.
just the gin.
And because it's such a flavourful gin, you only need like a couple of drops. But
Yeah,
with that, with the saltiness of the oyster and the briny water, it's
Yeah.
just delicious.
it is delicious. Yum yum. We will have a gin dinner one day, Ian, and we will try it then.
Mm.
Or we'll have big platefuls of oysters one day, Eva. And we will try it then as well.
Anyway,
Maybe we could put the two things together. That's delicious. Yum.
almost go really well
I
with
like it.
cucumber.
I do. Any comments from you?
What are people saying? Ooh. Grapefruit for Liz.
Yep. Good job.
Ian says as good as he remembers.
Yep, we tried it with Ian with the oysters. Nice one.
Mediterranean tonic. Ooh, how does the Mediterranean tonic go, I wonder?
Mm.
And half a dozen Coffin Bay oysters. There you go.
Gee, man, wish it was that many. No. Yum.
Mm.
Yum.
Eva says she gets weird and she gets the flavour of sultanas.
You're right. That is
That
weird.
might no sultanas are grapes.
Once upon a time.
Well, yeah, drying a grape,
This
but
is
also if you put grapes in a still, you heat it up, cook it. Mmm,
Woohoo!
yum.
Yummo. I like that a lot. That one is a success. Now, the next one.
Mhm.
Speaking of Coffin Bay spirits.
Indeed.
So I guess it comes from
Coffin
Coffin
Bay.
Coffin Bay.
Now these guys are a pretty new distillery.
We haven't seen them before.
A pretty new distillery, and we're pretty lucky that we managed to get it into the tasting this time around because You probably noticed that some Australian gins call themselves rare gins or rare dry gins, even though they're not that rare. When these guys say rare coastal gin, they really mean it. They pretty much sold out of all of their gin very, very quickly. This is also bottled at a higher ABV of 42%.
Well, I spoke to them when they were trying to get me to get some, and of course I was saying, yes, I really, really want some. My first question, I said, how does it go with oysters? And they said, well, we kind of designed it to go with oysters. And I said, that's great. And then when I rang them back, they said, well, you've got the last box because we've gone around telling everybody it goes well with oysters. And about 3 or 4 big restaurants in Adelaide and a couple in Melbourne just bought a whole lot.
Yeah.
Right.
To serve with oysters.
So often Coffin Bay oysters with Coffin Bay gin.
That's it.
Oh.
So by the time they do a couple more batches, I wouldn't be surprised if it starts popping up in some of the new
Do you know,
bars.
it's not just
Well,
the
they couldn't
power.
make enough of it to keep up with the places
Well,
that already.
It is not just the. It's not just the power of suggestion. It smells like oysters.
Oh,
Don't you reckon?
yeah. These guys do also use local foraged sort of beach plants and
Yeah, they say that the botanicals come from their backyard. What do people say?
oh my god, it smells.
It smells like oysters. That's all I get.
I know we're going to keep talking about oysters today, and I'm sorry, everyone at home and here who doesn't have
I just
oysters.
like beachy seaweedy smell as well. You know,
Yeah,
there's an umami about it. They say truffle on their
Oh,
note.
I can get a bit of that.
It's a kelpie, like a kelpie note.
Yeah, sort of, yeah, but that umami thing that.
The seaweed, not the dog.
You're weird.
That was perfect.
You know when gin that smells like kelpie.
I said a kelpie. Anyway.
The kelpie smell.
Anyway.
Oh, look, it smells like a wet dog.
Do we smell anything else in here, Russ?
I can't smell a wet dog in here. I get the oyster thing definitely happening.
Yeah.
There's something else going on.
Something green in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a
Salt bushy thing?
yeah, it's saltbush.
Or was it a warrigal room or something like that?
No, it's dry enough.
What's the bottle say?
Foraged seaweeds, carcala fruit, bearded heath, which is I'm pretty sure also a seaweed, and
No, it's a heath.
coastal bubiala. But I do know that they do use some saltbush in their other gin as well.
Maybe it's the coastal Bouviella and I think it just smells like salt bush because that's what it used
Sweet on the front palate.
to. Oh yeah.
Not in like a sugary way, but in like a really
Oh, wow.
bright, almost floral kind of a note.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what about. I think I'm going to go the Indian.
Indian.
Mm.
It's really interesting. It's
Oh,
got,
let's start with ice first. Sorry.
it's got quite a dry back palate though.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit of voice.
Can you chat to people? I like to know what people are saying.
Yeah. Oh. Even says lychee.
Yeah, I can do that.
Saltbush. Very elegant, says Liz. Ha ha ha. How was that? Very elegant.
Yeah, I get the
Ice
lychee.
actually improves that a lot, I think. Just because, maybe it's just that it's a 42%.
Mm, maybe it is.
Just want one.
And Ian's added a little bit of saltbush leaf to it.
Mm, yeah.
What's the garnish are we thinking with that?
I
Still
don't know.
figuring that out.
I'm going to try it with Indian.
You want to go with the garnish first? Yeah.
I think I want tonic first.
Yeah, I just can't work it out.
I think I know where I'm going, but the tonic might change it. So
I'm going to go the other way. Just-
oh, lime.
Lime.
Yeah. It just brings out the sweetness and the green botanicals in that.
Okay. Yep. I'm onto that.
Oh, that's me, a very happy tappy.
Wow, it's delicious. It's such a different flavour from the beach box.
I've gone with the dry tonic with the lime. That's still really good.
It's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Means a bit more tonic, in fact. But
That's addictively good.
It's yum.
Mm.
It's very nice.
There's something else going on once you add the tonic, which I really enjoy. Maybe.
I think it's bringing out a bit more of that fruit.
Mm.
Not quite sure.
There's a very green herbaceous note that's a bit pungent when it's by itself, but with the tonic it sort of softens it. It actually kind of opens up the back palate to sort of be a little bit more approachable.
Delish.
Yeah. I
I like
can
that.
see how that with oysters though.
Mm. I think I would have a bit on the oysters.
I think what I want to do is like
Other people having it.
squeeze lime over my oysters and then throw the lime in. You know, so just it all comes together.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that might be good.
Liz is going with frozen lime.
Okay.
Eva's going with cucumber. Says it's yum.
Oh, cucumber again.
Yeah. That's
That's
interesting.
really interesting.
Mm.
Mind you, salt and cucumber,
I pretty much imagine made in heaven.
pretty good combo.
Yeah.
Mm. Where do we want to? Oh, no, that's a dumb question. Summer oysters.
Not really any contest.
Well, they're both summer. They're both oysters. They're both.
Outside.
But that's the thing. They're completely different gins, but both would go with oysters.
I don't want to drink any of them inside though. I need to drink them outside.
I'm drinking them inside right now, and I'm enjoying it. And
Yeah.
it's going inside. So
I'm
there.
drinking
Cheers.
them outside. I'm drinking them outside.
I actually think a couple of gin and tonics like that would go really well followed by like a slightly biscuity champagne, like yeasty champagne
Yeah.
sort of vibe. You know, salt followed by a nice yummy yeasty.
Something a bit fatter.
Yeah. Actually. Like a pommery.
Now we're getting fancy.
Who needs food pairings when you
Yeah.
can have drink on drink pairings?
Mm. Or as I was asked tonight, what is my, if Roger Federer is number one, what is my ATP first 10 of drinks? I said sparkling, guys, the first three. Alright, last
but
one.
not least,
Pretty Little Blue Bottle.
Taylor and Smith Dry Gin. Now,
That's a very imaginative name.
well, no, they do two different gins, which is their straight gin and their dry gin. And one of the main differences between their regular gin and their dry gin is that, number one, most Australians come out with what they refer to as a dry gin.
Yeah.
And just don't do a straight gin. And these guys did both, which I thought was interesting.
Yep.
But the difference between their regular gin and their dry gin is the inclusion of abalone shell.
Right.
So these guys are from down in Hobart.
So we've got Victorian, South Australian, Tasmanian.
And this piqued the interest of our previous resident Tasmanian, Eva, because her family are oyster farmers from Tasmania, so not too far removed from
No.
abalone. But really interesting idea to use abalone shell, I thought.
Wow, that's a completely different smell again, isn't it?
So the two main characteristics or botanicals that bring up the flavour in this are A, the abalone shell, and B, hue and pine. So
Oh, is that what I get? That's that resiny smell.
yeah. So what's
cool.
really
I'm sitting there trying to work out what it was. There you go.
but what I love
Absolutely.
but what I love about it is like that is so Tasmanian. It's like a little bit of beach and a little bit of sort of wild forest.
Put a chunk of wood in your drink.
No, but you know what I
Yes.
mean. I don't know that it's the wood. It might be pine needles.
Ian's going with smoked salmon capers. Works well.
Yeah, this is
As
good.
well as the oysters. Liz has made some juniper galore, and she's right. I got the juniper. Like it's really a lot
Juniper
more heavy
forward.
This is much more juniper forward than the others.
I mean, it is their dry gin. I wonder if they maybe bump up the juniper.
Maybe.
I also think like something like smoked trout.
Yeah, the good get in. This would be great with smoked trout.
No, smoked
Salmon.
salmon.
Smoked salmon.
I think the smoked salmon would be better. the smoked trout because the
Trout,
earthiness.
trout might have a bit too much flavour.
Yeah, but a bit earthy. It gets
Yeah.
salty. Right?
Yeah.
I think it work better with the salmon.
Are we getting anything else on the nose? I'm almost getting petrichor. Like that, but I think that might be the abalone shell. Give me that sort of like.
He was going with nutmeg. There is it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a bit of
there
spiciness
is.
in there.
Alright, we're going to go into tasting. Mmm. Ah,
There's a fruit I'm missing.
soft, oily front palate. Just
Lots of juniper in the middle.
lots
Whoa.
of juniper.
Wee.
That's a fist of juniper in a velvet glove.
Yeah, and I like that.
It's interesting because some of the other really juniper-y gins we have, juniper forward gins we have it right at the front. This is not right.
But that
at
is
the front.
like-
It's in the middle part.
That is like soft and oily into big punch of juniper, finishing with this sort of like salty green.
It's not too dry at the end.
But it's
I think I'm going to go dry tonic with this. I think it's too complex for the Mediterranean.
I'm gonna do ice first, and I think
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is the other thing I find interesting. I've had all these gins and love them all, but I have not had them
Against each other.
against each other.
Yeah,
Now, I've always had.
they're not against each other.
No, but I've always had them in
I
isolation.
actually don't think we've tried this gin.
I've never tried this gin. I've obviously tried that gin because we discovered that gin. I've never had this other gin.
Because this is one of the only gins that Ross hasn't sourced. That was a me and Eva job.
Yeah, I know that.
Almost creamy, says Liz. Yeah, I get that.
Oh, with ice.
Well, it's almost good. I can see the also slight louche there to it.
Yeah.
That means there's good lots of essential oils there.
Well, maybe some of the oil's coming out of that wood. That's what I'm smelling.
Yeah. Well, that's what I also think about the front palate being the reason it's smooth is the oily. Mm. I'm gonna go Indian.
Oh.
You going Indian or dry?
Indian.
I think I'm going to go dry.
I think I'm going to go the Indian because I think with that much juniper.
Oh. Oh, that is just
Oh, that's delicious.
yeah.
I'm going to go with lemon. Weirdly.
I
I reckon I'll go with lemon, lime, or orange, quite frankly.
Oh, grapefruit even.
Or grapefruit, but I'm going to go with the lemon because it's just like, it's just such, the juniper is just
Lemon?
crying out.
Well, I like it.
Yeah. I'm not really a lemon and gin kind of a person, but I'm willing to put my palate on the line. Oh, yum.
It's delicious, isn't it?
I've got to
Lemon
say,
just gives it that little lift.
the reason I went for the Indian,
A bit more sugar.
when I first got this gin, I actually bought a bottle. I went to a mate's place with a couple of 4 packs of Indian tonic. The genius, I've worked out, I couldn't figure out why some gin suppliers do their bottles as a 500ml. I get it now. That's a 2-person bottle. Just yum.
Yeah.
Gone in a flash.
That is really delicious.
Mm.
I'm going to say something incredibly wanky, but I can taste the quality of the water.
Oh.
No, I can. It's sort of, I don't know.
I wonder what's bringing that though. It's quite interesting because it's got a lot of flavour.
But there's something really, it tastes quite, there's a background flavour that's quite different.
Well, actually, going down that path, speaking to one of our favourite winemakers, John Pinto, who now has a still in his winery and they're making gin.
Of course.
He tried that, so what they did for the water to get it right was they went with a reverse osmosis, so they got as clean as they could possibly get it.
Okay.
And he said that worked the best, because when they put normal water in it,
Did
it was
they
like
do that for
caught
these
scrap
drugs?
in it. So,
They did that for this.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what they did for the water in this, but
But the water just tastes, there's another flavour that I'm getting. or lack of flavour, something really clean and clear.
Maybe.
I think almost.
Well, when I got to discuss it with John, is the water they use is important because if you put just straight out of the
Oh,
tap,
did John make this?
no,
Stop at the pair of you.
Sorry, I'm teasing rocks.
well, it's not funny.
Anyway, go.
The point is, if you use normal water, you've got fluoride and chlorine and all sorts of other minerals and stuff in it, which is going to actually affect
Yeah.
everything else.
I guess
So
that's
if
what I'm
you can
saying.
strip as much out as possible, you can actually get the flavours of what's happening. So
Well, they mentioned pristine water.
Yeah.
And I think that there's definitely there's a big difference between Victorian water, South Australian water, and Tasmanian water.
Mind you, that's a very Tasmanian trait. If you look at all of the Tasmanian spirits, they all mention the water.
Water is beautiful though.
Well, I think there's something in the water that we're talking about.
Well, there isn't.
Well,
Anyway, I think
there might be fish in the water.
I'm convinced they're all drinking the Kool-Aid, but maybe that's just me.
that is really delicious. I liked all of those. Yum. What was your favourite?
It's going to have to be the Taylor for me.
I can't decide. That's too hard.
I really like the beach box, but I don't think I'd want to have more than 2 of them. I think it would get too sharp.
You think?
Yeah. No,
I like the beach ones.
Coffin Bay was
the only thing I could say is I think these two guys would go really, really well with voices. I'm not quite so sure about this. But I love
But we weren't conducting a tasting of things to drink with oysters.
Well, I was. What I do like about this is, though, I love this because the juniper is just like, wow, that's great. But I think these, if I was going to go, yeah, gin and tonic, Friday night, bang, off we go. Oysters, I'd be debating here. I reckon if I had Coffin Bay oysters, I'd have to have that just because it's
on brand.
On point. And then everything else, here we go.
I think this is a gin I could use with a lot of other things. I think this one's got a flavour that I think wouldn't play nicely with lots of things. I think this one is too juniper-y for a lot of the seafood I want to drink with.
But it'd be good with salmon.
Cut through that fattiness.
Yeah, the juniper, the salmon.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. I like them all. I can't decide. I have to.
I do like them all. But
I think the Taylor's is my favourite.
I think this one's just incredibly good value, frankly. Big, sexy bowl. Not very much money. Bingo. Not a lot that's good quality and cheap comes out of the Mornington Peninsula.
No, I mean, that being said, they're all such different gins. I mean,
They are very different.
really crisp, beachy, then you've got rich, salty, herbaceous, then you've got big juniper and pine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll decide for everybody. You put that on yourself. How good does that look? I reckon it looks sensational.
I'm not the biggest fan of the label.
I think it's beautiful.
I love it.
I think
Very summery. Very summery. I think it made a very summery drink.
Yeah.
See, I think the Taylor is my favourite label, but I'm a sucker for clean design.
Anywho,
We liked. Now, for anybody who is subscribed to the Gin Club,
yes,
due to the fact that we're going into Christmas very rapidly,
we
were anticipating, which we have discovered that we have done correctly, we're anticipating that delivery towards the end of December is going to be quite difficult. And as of this week, this has already started to get really, really slowing down from couriers and postal service. So we sent the January packs with these packs.
And in South Australia, yours is coming separately. Yours was sent, your January one was sent today.
Yeah. Anyway, so obviously you'll have discovered that in January we're doing fruit gins, so something bit more bright and refreshing for a bit of warm weather, I think.
Cool. You can mix it up with some stuff, do we think? Fruit gins. No.
And then we've also been thinking about what we're going to do for February. But if you have any ideas for different types of gin that you might want to taste, feel free to send us a message or an email or text or a call. We're always open to ideas because
that's it.
we want to hear from you guys.
We do.
So let us know.
Awesome. So, thanks very much for coming.
Indeed.
It's been fabulous to see you. And somebody needs to jiggle around and turn it on.
I shall do that exactly now. Anyway, adios.
Adios. Awesome. Send us your comments, ideas, thoughts, plans. We will have all the videos up on Facebook so you can watch them later. And bye, and have a great Christmas if we don't see you or speak to you beforehand. And we'll catch you in the new year. Bye.